why don't you give us a quick little background? Who are you and how did you get to this pinnacle of life where you are on the Laundromat Resource podcast?
No, great question. So I would say my background is kind of traditional to most people that own small businesses. So came out of school, worked in corporate finance at a variety of firms, then did that for 3 to 5 years, moved over to at the time, small startup WeWork, which most people do know the story of that company. Spent another 3 or 4 years there. And then due to some stuff going on there, my job was eliminated after a little while, and then spent a little bit of time working for a variety of small companies, doing some real estate investing for myself, and then started to get the itch after I sold my first home after the first wave of COVID to look into small businesses. So I was looking at the time, was already under contract for some commercial real estate, and being somebody that I don't have a single creative bone in my body. So everything I'm drawn to is operational in nature. So I was looking at stuff like car washes, laundromats, things that it's really just all about the process and the people and just being consistent with it. And after speaking to a couple people that have had a ton of success in the car wash industry, all of them said that they would never change it, but if they could redo it, they would have gone the routes of laundromats. I said, well, that's very interesting because that is the other thing I'm currently looking at. So after realizing that at the time that getting involved in a car wash was just slightly out of my price range, even if I was able to get into one, it really would have put my back against the wall because the stuff that goes on from a maintenance perspective when you purchase a value add anything is big dollars. So from there, I really kind of pivoted and just really started looking into laundry. So I'm located in New York, I live on Long Island, and was looking at a variety of them, looking at stuff on Long Island, looking at stuff in the boroughs, and going into literally everyone I saw, no matter where I was, if I was on vacation, if I was just stopping at the store and there was one next to me, I'd go in there, take a look, and the common denominator for all of them was that, wow, these places are disgusting. 9 out of 10 of them were terrible. I wouldn't want to do my laundry there. And that's when it kind of clicked where I was like, okay, if all these stores are in business and they're run like this, it can't be that difficult to do decently well if you're running it well. So being somebody that didn't have a tremendous amount of starting capital, I was automatically looking towards, okay, how am I going to finance this thing? So the first thing I did when I was looking into it was ones that were pre-existing. And as you know, and you've gone into it many times with your underwriting and stuff like that when you discuss it, is that it's very hard to come up with real numbers. You do need to assume a lot of things, and all of them just weren't adding up. So I got connected with an individual that worked for a distributor and started explaining me to go down the route of building from the ground up. And at first, it didn't seem like something that was attainable to me due to just the extremely high startup cost. And the more I kind of looked into it, the more I kind of thought it through and realized that it does give you the opportunity to really build out your store exactly how you want it and put all the controls and the technology in place to really allow you to run it as hands-off as you can be. So you're still there all the time, but if you want to step away, you could still have that ultimate transparency into your business if you step away for a day or a weekend. And going down that route, I realized that, I'm going to need some sort of financing to get this across the line because 200 grand is not going to do it. So leveraging my real estate background, I automatically knew that going whichever way I was going to go from a financing perspective, whether it was raise equity from people or some sort of debt product or SBA or the machine financing or the equipment financing arms of the equipment I'd buy, that I would need that. So as I was going through that, I realized that, okay, the best people to work with are typically your small community lender, because once you go through that application process with anything, with a big bank, your Bank of America, your JP Morgan, you're really just numbers on a page. So going with a small community bank, it's more relationship based. They do have that alignment with investment in the community. People don't think so, but it is true. The small community banks do heavily value the relationship, the type of thing you're opening, and past experience and other things. So going through that route, I went the small regional. Now, from there, that was just the start. So what I had to do from there was also build out a business plan and financial projections and all sorts of other things that went involved in that. And by some miracle, my loan ended up getting approved. And that's how I ended up opening up my store, as well as that's how I ended up going with the SBA option.